Don't skip. Someone disrespects you publicly without warning. Heat rises in your chest immediately. Words form before you think them through. You react and instantly regret it. The disrespect was their mistake. What followed became yours entirely. You've been taught to stand up for yourself, to never let anyone disrespect you without immediate consequences. But the Stoics understood something crucial. How you respond to disrespect matters far more than the disrespect itself. Wrong reactions hand your power directly to the person who insulted you. This isn't about accepting disrespect or becoming passive doormat. It's about responding from strength rather than wounded ego, protecting your power instead of giving it away freely to anyone who provokes you. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." Your reaction is the only thing you truly control when disrespected. Today, we'll explore 7 things you should never do when disrespected. From reacting immediately to seeking revenge that backfires. Thing number 5 is the most tempting. It feels like justice, but actually proves their disrespect was justified all along. By the end, you'll know exactly which reactions destroy your dignity and which responses preserve your power completely. You'll never hand control to someone who disrespected you again. If you've ever regretted how you responded to disrespect, this will change how you handle it forever. Let's begin. Thing 1. Never react immediately from emotion. Number 1. Never react immediately from emotion. The insult lands and words fly out of your mouth before you think them through. Your face flushes red. Voice rises instantly. You say things you can't unsay. 10 minutes later, you're not angry at them anymore. You're angry at yourself for losing control so completely. Immediate emotional reactions bypass your rational mind entirely. You respond from wounded ego, not wisdom. The words that emerge are designed to hurt back, not to handle the situation effectively at all. These reactions almost always escalate conflict and make you look worse than the person who disrespected you in the first place. When you react immediately, you prove you can be easily destabilized by anyone. Others watching see someone who lost control, not someone who was wronged. The disrespecter wanted a reaction. You gave them exactly what they wanted. You've handed them proof that their words have power over you. They won the moment you lost your composure completely. Daniel received insulting email from colleague questioning his competence in front of entire team without warning. Rage flooded through him immediately. He fired back within minutes, point-by-point rebuttal with personal attacks woven throughout every paragraph. His fingers moved faster than his mind could keep up. The response felt satisfying for exactly 10 minutes afterward. Then, reality arrived hard. His manager called. The email chain had been forwarded upward to leadership. Everyone saw Daniel's aggressive response, not the original insult that triggered it. He looked unprofessional and petty, while the colleague who started it seemed calm by comparison now. His immediate reaction had transformed him from victim to aggressor in everyone's eyes. The disrespect was forgotten quickly. His reaction became the story everyone remembered and discussed for months afterward around the office. The Stoics practiced the pause between stimulus and response religiously. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That pause is everything. Create space before responding to anything that triggers you emotionally. Leave the room if needed. Wait 24 hours before replying to messages that anger you. The pause is where your power lives. Use it wisely. When disrespected, implement the 24-hour rule for non-urgent situations. For immediate confrontations, take 3 deep breaths before speaking any words at all. Ask yourself honestly, will this response make me look stronger or weaker to everyone watching? If weaker, stay silent until you can respond from calm strength instead of wounded ego. The pause gives you something immediate reaction never can: choice. In that space, you decide who you'll be in this moment. That choice is freedom itself. Immediate reactions hand them power. But there's another mistake just as damaging: over-explaining yourself to someone who disrespected you. That's thing number 2. Thing 2. Never over-explain or justify yourself. Never over-explain or justify yourself. They insult you, and suddenly you're defending your entire life story to them, explaining your choices in detail, justifying your worth with evidence. Every explanation makes you smaller, while they watch you scramble desperately. You've turned their disrespect into your trial, where you're the defendant. Over-explaining puts you in the position of defendant seeking approval from someone who's already shown they don't respect you. You're essentially asking them to validate you after they've demonstrated they won't. The more you explain, the more desperate you appear to everyone watching. Explanations become evidence of insecurity. People who disrespect you aren't confused about who you are. They've made a deliberate choice. No explanation changes a decision they've already made about you. Your detailed defense simply entertains them while confirming they've found someone easily rattled. Each justification signals that their opinion matters so much you'll perform to change it. It never works. Maya's relative dismissed her career choice as not a real job at family gathering in front of everyone. Instead of brief response or silence, she launched into detailed explanation lasting 10 minutes. Her education, her income, her achievements, her future plans, every credential she'd ever earned. 10 minutes of justification to someone eating dessert with smug expression. The relative nodded occasionally, clearly unmoved by any evidence presented so carefully. Others watched Mia perform her worth to someone who'd already decided to dismiss her completely. She'd turned casual insult into formal presentation where she was applicant and he was judge of her entire life. After she finished exhausted, the relative simply said, "If you say so." Nothing had changed except Maya now felt smaller than before. She started explaining herself to someone who didn't deserve explanation at all. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The suffering of being misunderstood exists mostly in your head. The Stoics didn't seek approval from those who demonstrated unworthiness to give it. Your worth exists independent of anyone's opinion of you. Those who matter already understand who you are. Those who don't matter don't deserve your explanation. Save your energy for people who've earned it through demonstrated respect over time. When tempted to explain yourself after disrespect, ask honestly, has this person shown they deserve my explanation? Would any explanation actually change their mind about me? If no, to either question, respond briefly or not at all. You're entitled to your opinion ends the conversation without performance. Your silence speaks louder than any defense ever could to those paying attention. The disrespect reveals them. Your restraint reveals you. Let that contrast speak entirely for itself. If you've ever exhausted yourself explaining your worth to someone who'd already decided not to see it, drop my silence, my power below. Your restraint might free someone still performing for the wrong audience. Over-explaining makes over-explaining you small, but there's another reaction that destroys your dignity even faster. Seeking validation from everyone about what happened. That's thing number 3. Thing number 3, never seek thing 3. Never seek validation from everyone about it. Validation from everyone about it. You've been disrespected and now you need everyone to know about it. You tell friends, family, co-workers, anyone who will listen to your story. Each retelling feels like building your case stronger, but you're actually building your reputation as someone who can't handle conflict without an audience. Seeking validation from everyone transforms private insult into public identity. You become the person who was wronged, defined entirely by someone else's actions. Each time you retell the story, you relive the disrespect while others grow tired of hearing it. Your need for agreement signals clearly that you can't validate yourself. People who constantly discuss how they've been wronged become exhausting to others over time. What starts as sympathy becomes avoidance. Others begin to wonder if maybe you invite this treatment somehow. Your reputation shifts from victim of one incident to someone who dwells on negativity constantly. The disrespect was one moment. Your broadcasting of it extends the damage indefinitely. After public criticism from supervisor, Ethan told everyone who would listen without restraint. Colleagues at lunch, friends after work, family on weekends, the same story retold with growing embellishment each time he shared it with new audience. Initially, people sympathized and agreed the supervisor was wrong to do that publicly, but weeks passed, and Ethan still discussed it constantly without moving forward. He noticed people changing subjects quickly when he brought it up again. Coworkers avoided lunch with him. Friends stopped asking about work entirely, knowing exactly what would follow. He'd wanted allies, but created distance instead. Others saw someone unable to move past single incident, still seeking agreement about something everyone else had forgotten weeks ago. His quest for validation had become his defining characteristic, far more memorable than the original disrespect itself. Marcus Aurelius journaled privately about his struggles rather than seeking public agreement. He wrote how much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only at what he himself is doing. Process difficult experiences with one or two trusted people maximum. Your healing doesn't require unanimous agreement that you were wronged. Internal resolution matters infinitely more than external validation from everyone you know. Limit discussion of disrespect to maximum two trusted people who've proven they can listen without gossip. Vent once, process fully, then stop repeating. Ask yourself honestly, am I sharing to process or to gather allies? If gathering allies, you're building case for court that doesn't exist. Handle it, then move forward completely. Your silence about the incident doesn't mean it didn't hurt. It means you've processed it internally and refused to let it become your identity. Seeking validation extends the damage indefinitely. But there's reaction even more destructive, trying to get revenge on the person who disrespected you. That's thing number 4. Thing 4. Never seek revenge or try to hurt them back. 4. Never seek revenge or try to hurt them back. They disrespected you, so now you'll make them pay for it. You plot, you scheme, you wait for perfect opportunity to strike back. Meanwhile, they've completely forgotten about you while you've made them the center of your mental life entirely. Revenge keeps you psychologically attached to the person who wronged you indefinitely. Every moment spent planning payback is moment they still control completely. You think you're getting justice, but you're actually extending their influence over your thoughts, emotions, and actions without end. Revenge is prison you build for yourself. Revenge rarely provides the satisfaction you imagine it will. If successful, you've lowered yourself to their level, sometimes below it. If unsuccessful, you've wasted energy and revealed your wounded ego clearly to everyone. Either way, you've proven the disrespect affected you deeply enough to reorganize your life around responding to it. They've won by occupying your mind rentrée. Priya was humiliated by former friend who spread rumors about her professionally without warning. She spent months planning perfect revenge carefully, gathering information, waiting for opportunity, thinking about payback daily before sleep, and immediately upon waking each morning. When revenge finally came, she exposed the former friend's own secret publicly at gathering. The satisfaction lasted approximately 2 hours. Then came the aftermath reality. Others saw her as vindictive. Now, the mutual destruction didn't elevate her. It just created 2 damaged people instead of 1. Her reputation suffered alongside her target's reputation equally. Worse, she realized she'd spent 6 months obsessing over someone who probably thought about her rarely. She'd given the best of her mental energy to the worst person in her life. The revenge hadn't freed her. She'd simply extended the relationship on uglier terms indefinitely. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." The Stoics understood that becoming like those who wrong you is the ultimate defeat. Your character is your victory. True revenge is living so well that their disrespect becomes a irrelevant footnote in your extraordinary story. Let your success speak while they fade into irrelevance. That's the only revenge worth pursuing. When revenge fantasies arise, redirect that energy immediately. Ask, what would I accomplish if I spent this mental energy on my own growth instead? Channel the anger into fuel for success they'll witness from distance. The best revenge isn't hurting them back. It's becoming someone so elevated their opinion becomes meaningless to you. While they're stuck where they've always been, you're moving forward to places they can't reach. They disrespected you once. Don't give them lifetime occupancy in your mind. That's the revenge they don't deserve. If you've ever wasted months plotting revenge only to realize they'd already forgotten you, subscribe so we can keep building freedom from that prison together. Revenge extends their control over you. But there's another reaction that's equally self-destructive: stooping to their level in the moment. That's thing number 5. Thing 5. Never stoop to their level. 5. Never stoop to their level. They insult you, so you insult back harder. They're rude, so you're rudder. You match their energy perfectly, and in doing so, you prove you were never above them to begin with. You've become exactly what they accused you of being. Matching someone's negative behavior validates their approach entirely. You demonstrate you're capable of the same disrespect you're supposedly offended by. Others watching no longer see victim and aggressor. They see two people behaving badly together. The moral high ground disappears the moment you step down to meet them where they stand. When you stoop to their level, you retroactively justify their treatment of you. They can now point to your behavior as evidence they were right all along about you. Any sympathy others had for you evaporates instantly. Witnesses remember two people fighting, not who started it first. You've transformed clear wrong into murky mutual conflict where nobody wins. Omar was publicly mocked by competitor at industry event. Something about his small company and cute little operation. Rage surged through him instantly. He fired back about the competitor's recent failures, their desperate marketing, their declining reputation, point by point, equally cutting. Both left the conversation angry. But Omar noticed something disturbing afterward. People who witnessed it avoided both of them equally now. He heard himself described as just as bad as the person who started it. The competitor's disrespect was forgotten in the matching response. Omar had taken clear aggressor and transformed situation into mutual combat where both parties looked unprofessional and petty together. He'd had the moral high ground and abandoned it for momentary satisfaction of hitting back. That satisfaction cost him far more than the original insult ever could have. Epictetus taught that we cannot control what others do, only how we respond to it. The Stoics maintain dignity precisely because they refuse to let others dictate their behavior through provocation. Your response reveals your character, not theirs. Let their behavior expose them while yours elevates you. The contrast itself becomes your statement. No matching required. When tempted to match negative energy, pause and ask, what would someone I deeply admire do right now? Channel that person instead of your wounded ego. Respond in way that makes you proud tomorrow, not satisfied momentarily today. Your dignified response becomes the story, not the disrespect that triggered it. Let them be remembered for what they did. Let yourself be remembered for who you remained despite it. They showed their level. You protect yours. That's the only win that actually matters. Stooping to their level destroys your moral authority. But there's another mistake that signals weakness even more clearly, constantly reminding them of what they did. That's thing number 6. Thing 6. Never keep bringing it up repeatedly. Number 6. Never keep bringing it up repeatedly. Months after the disrespect, you're still mentioning it constantly, bringing it up in unrelated conversations, referencing it when making completely different points. You think you're holding them accountable, but you're actually showing they still live rent-free in your head permanently. Repeatedly bringing up past disrespect signals you haven't moved past it internally at all. Each mention reveals ongoing wound that hasn't healed properly. You believe you're reminding others of their wrongdoing, but you're actually reminding everyone, including yourself, that you're still affected by it. You've given them permanent residence in your mental space. People who constantly reference past wrongs become defined by those wrongs entirely. Others start avoiding topics that might trigger another retelling of the story. The person who disrespected you has moved on completely with their life, while you remain stuck at that moment indefinitely. Your repeated mentions give their words power they never deserved, extending influence that should have expired long ago. Leah was betrayed by business partner 2 years ago. The wound was real and the wrongdoing was genuine, But 2 years later, she still referenced it constantly in conversations with new people, potential partners, and even clients she was trying to impress. Every business discussion eventually returned to what happened before. Every new opportunity was filtered through past betrayal. She believed she was being cautious and transparent about lessons learned. Others saw something different, someone unable to move forward at all. Potential partners hesitated, sensing they'd eventually become the next story she told everyone. The betrayal that was supposed to teach her had instead trapped her completely. Her constant references weren't protecting her from future harm. They were signaling to everyone that past harm still controlled her present entirely. The partner had moved on to new ventures successfully. Leah remained frozen in that moment of betrayal indefinitely. Seneca advised, "Cease to hope, and you will cease to fear." Applied here. Cease to dwell, and you will cease to suffer from past disrespect completely. The Stoics practiced present moment focus deliberately. What happened is done completely. Constant reference keeps it alive artificially. Extract the lesson, implement the change, then release the story entirely. Your growth is proof you've learned. Constant reminders aren't necessary. Give yourself deadline. After processing period, you no longer discuss the incident unless directly relevant to current situation. When urge to mention it arises, ask what purpose does this serve right now? If no clear purpose exists, redirect the conversation forward. Your silence about the past demonstrates you've risen above it completely. Your constant reference to it demonstrates you're still underneath its weight. They wronged you once. Don't give them power to wrong you daily through your own repeated remembering. Constant reminders keep you trapped in the past. But there's one final mistake that guarantees you'll lose all power, letting it change how you see yourself. That's thing number 7. Thing 7. Never let it define your self-worth. 7. Never let it define your self-worth. They called you something once. Now you question yourself constantly. Their words echo in your mind during quiet moments. You've allowed one person's disrespect to rewrite how you see yourself entirely. Their opinion has become your internal truth. When disrespect infiltrates your self-image, you've given the ultimate power away completely. Someone's opinion, often uninformed, biased, or deliberately hurtful, now shapes how you perceive your own worth. You've promoted their judgment above your own self-knowledge. Their words have been granted authority they never earned. Internalizing disrespect creates permanent wound that original words never caused. The moment passes quickly, but the identity damage continues indefinitely. You start seeing yourself through their eyes. Their criticism becomes your inner voice. You've transformed external attack into internal prison. They've moved on while you carry their words inside you everywhere you go. After teacher publicly called him not college material at 16, Jordan carried those words for 15 years silently. He didn't pursue higher education initially, didn't apply for jobs he wanted, limited his own possibilities based on opinion formed during 10-second interaction by someone who barely knew him. At 31, he finally examined the belief he'd been carrying unconsciously. One teacher, one comment, one moment. Yet it had shaped over a decade of decisions about who he was and what he deserved. He went back to school that year, graduated with honors 3 years later, built the career he'd avoided for 15 years based on borrowed belief that was never his to carry. The teacher probably forgot that comment within days of saying it. Jordan had made it the foundation of his identity for over a decade. Borrowed limitations are the most expensive kind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." The Stoics located worth internally, not in others' assessments. Your value isn't determined by popular vote or by those who disrespect you. What you know about yourself matters infinitely more than what they said about you once. When disrespect starts affecting self-image, ask, would I accept this person's opinion on other matters? If they're not authority on your worth, why accept their assessment now? Write evidence of your actual value, achievements, qualities, impact, Return to this evidence when borrowed beliefs try to define you. You know yourself better than anyone who disrespects you ever could. Their words revealed their limitations, not yours. Don't carry their baggage as your identity. The disrespect was theirs. The life you build afterward is yours. Don't let their moment become your lifetime. Those are 7 things you should never do when disrespected. But knowing what not to do is only half the battle. Let's talk about what this wisdom really means for your life. We've explored 7 things you should never do when disrespected. Never react immediately. Never over-explain yourself. Never seek validation from everyone. Never seek revenge. Never stoop to their level. Never keep bringing it up. Never let it define your worth. If this wisdom is showing you how to protect your power, subscribe so we can keep building emotional mastery together. Disrespect is their choice about them. Your response is your choice about you. They revealed their character through disrespect. You reveal yours through how you respond. Protect your power. Guard your peace. Stay calm. Stay stoic.